rhyme, another rhythm for y'all to listen. I'm never quitting on my mission, I'ma roll with what I'm giving. Got some ambition, this new edition, filling positions. Looking at the void in myself and feeling what's missing. Better watch the way you going, better go in the right direction. In the moment you stressing, but you gon' be counting blessings. And I know that for certain, keep on working, open curtains. Haters swerving, cause they ain't ready for your final version. Whoa. I'm never gonna give up, fall down, I just gotta get up, yeah. Cause this is my road. Let's camera action, I'm ready to
Morning.
How you doing there, Mr. Flowers?
How are you, sir?
I don't know if we've had the pleasure of meeting before in person. My name is Earl Bloodworth. I'm hosting in place of Maurice, so I'm sorry if you're disappointed on that.
No problem.
In place of Mr. Ficklin, so I appreciate you maintaining the show, and we can go get started. I'm
Most definitely
interested to talk about the Connecticut Black Expo. I do want to warn you. Give you one caveat. So I work.
Been around all my life.
What neighborhood?
I grew up in two neighborhoods, but my main years it was in the Ville, in New Hallville.
Lilac Street.
I right on Dorman Street, right after Bassett.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We moved around a lot too, though. Lilac Street, Huntington. Then we moved out the Ville for a little while. Then came back, Thompson, Shelton.
Yeah. I was over in Orchard Street when my younger years till I was 11, and then moved to New Hallville from 11 till I moved out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
With the Lincoln Bassett, with the Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So yeah, so I worked in, and I started out. We actually in the '90s. I was working with Elm City Nation back then. I don't know if you remember.
I do.
And we started we brought back the Black Expo back then, in the '90s. So I work with them, but I work in radio. Right now, I work for Hot 93.7 right now.
Okay.
That's my background, but in Hot 93.7, but actually Odyssey, which is a parent company, and we have 4 stations here in Hartford. So that's who I work for. So I've been in advertising media for 30 years.
Wow.
For 30 years, actually. I worked at YBC, was my first start, to NHC, which is no longer.
Right. I remember WNHC.
Yeah.
They used to rock out.
Yeah. Then I went to Comcast for 5 years, and 2 years I worked at Channel 8 for 2 years.
Oh wow.
WTNH, and then from there I went to work for Hot 93.7, and I've been there for the last 20 years now.
So you're a pro at this. I should just give you all the questions and just let you go.
Well, listen, I'm behind the scenes. I'm in advertising. I'm not a personality. So.
All right. Got you.
Yes,
so you said you started back with Elm City Nation to revive the Connecticut Black Expo. And now it's here again in another iteration. How did that come about?
Well, so like I said, like back then, we brought it back, and it was about stopping gang violence. You talking about reentry? I know you talk about reentry. We were trying to eradicate the gang violence and the selling of negative product to positive product, which I mean, so we saw about the Black Expo as these gentlemen on the street that can go in, get product and resell it. So it's like, okay, you can get a booth, you go get wholesale product and sell it for retail, instead of selling that, the poison to our community.
Right.
So that was the whole theme around the Black Expo, and it just blew up in 1993. So to actually go fast forward, and then 2005. I actually did it again and brought it back as the Connecticut Black Expo, and with some of the people who I worked with Elm City Nation, and we brought it back in 2005. And then, of course, as you know, 2006, 2007, the economy went crazy, and housing market crashed and all that stuff. So we didn't do it after that. And my partner now, Jesse Phillips, called me last year and like, listen, I think this is a great time to bring back the Black Expo. And he was like, because 40% of our Black businesses are closed because of the pandemic. And then with the social unrest that's going on what went on with George Floyd and things Taylor and all, it was just a perfect time to bring back the Expo and to actually uplift our Black community in the state of Connecticut. That's how. So he's the one. Jesse's actually the one that is the one that told me, like, listen, we need to bring it back, and then we formed the committee and got to working, and we're here now.
He's the COO, the Chief Operating Officer for you.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, cool.
That's correct.
You know what? That's a very good point. Even from what you were saying, from the original resuscitation of the Black Expo through Elm City Nation, I'm saying it was a component of trying to quell some of the violence in the neighborhoods. But I would think also it was an opportunity, like you said, to give individuals exposure to utilize their skills in a different vein, but also give exposure to Black businesses, because this will be a thriving Black business community.
Right, most definitely. That's what it was. And we definitely giving businesses the opportunity to actually grow, and and to be in front of thousands of people. That's the thing. Like, a lot of these businesses don't get a chance to sell their product in front of thousands of people. Even storefronts. People got storefronts and don't get the traffic that they need. So this is a primary way to come to one location and have thousands of people come. And if they want your product, they can buy it.
Indeed. But it gets, I think, to even a deeper point of that Black group cooperative economics, where we keep our dollar in our own neighborhood and have it circulate, and have these businesses, have the people know the people that have the businesses, and everybody connects.
Yes, most definitely.
I think that's awesome, and
yes,
that's something that I highly promote and will stand behind. So you can definitely expect me to be participating in that and getting a ticket. It's at the end of the month. You want to just give us the dates and times, and then we can kind of go into some of the features that are going to be taking place at the Expo at the end of this month.
Yes. Yeah. So it's October 29th and 30th at the Floyd Little Athletic Center right here, right in New Haven, 480 Sherman Avenue, right next to Hill House High School, actually, right connected right to Hill House High School. And so it's going to be hundreds of vendors. We're trying, we're still accepting vendors right now to come in. We want to showcase our sponsors who have come aboard to help push this event and make this event successful. And we're trying to push. Our theme of this year is action driving Black excellence, and that's everything. That's action in getting your business to grow, taking action to get your health, right. Because we're going to have seminars also and panel discussions.
Oh, yeah. I want to discuss the panels. I'm waiting.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm jumping.
No, that's good. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's about we having a panel discussions on education, entrepreneurship, on health, and of course on economics and building your business, and financial literacy and politics. Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Politics awesome.
So we're gonna just get into it, man. I could just, when you were talking about, I could just see your face beaming. You proud. Like, I'm glad to see that, man. That's
definitely.
That enthusiasm spreads, man. Enthusiasm is a catalyst. I'm a big believer in that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to it. So the first thing I want to touch on, you talk about disparities in healthcare, identifying preventative strategies in primary care. So, everything that touches America, whether it's the flu, the pandemic, anything like that touches America, triply or quadruple touches the Black community.
That's correct.
So I definitely want you to speak on that. And then the component of that relates to reentry, it's even more doubly so. That population, once they're released, they have a higher morbidity and mortality rate for all the different diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and all that. We already have a high level of death from heart disease and diabetes and stuff like that in the Black community. That population is even more exacerbated. So that's something I definitely want to keep top of mind for folks.
Right. No, definitely. Like I said, I'm not the expert in this, so that's why if you look at if you go to the ctblackexpo.com, you'll see the schedule, you'll see all the panelists and the moderator who's.
I see them, but you want to name off a couple?
Oh yeah, we definitely we have the moderating the health panel is Gary and Dr. Deborah. They're the husband and wife team, been in the medical field for many years. So they definitely going to be moderating the actual health panel. We got Aisha Clark, from Health Equity Solutions. You know, we got Camilla Lawrence, Tiffany
I know her very
Donaldson.
well.
Yeah. So, you know, we got a few people. So that's not my expertise. And we got
Right,
people
but
that expert in that field, you know, that's going to be talking about the disparities, especially health in our black community. That's what it's about. And that's what,
no,
so
absolutely.
we want to make sure we talk about things that are hurting our, our
Not only talking about things that are hurting our community, that are impacting our community disproportionately and negatively, but solutions on how we
that's
can
right.
go about saving ourselves. Nobody's coming to save us. I'm a firm believer in that as well. There's no magic wand. There's no entity other than ourselves that are going to come and uplift us as we've been persevering through all these, heartaches.
Right, right. So they're going to talk about how the steps needed to improve the care and access that the individual responsibilities that lead them to, the better black health, as we call it. So they're
Yeah.
going to talk about all that. So then they're going to talk about the next steps we need to take, what's the doctors to go to, who's specializing in certain things, diabetes and things of that nature that we, that structure our community all the time. So that's what they're going to be talking about. They're going to actually make sure that they give you where to go, and it's like going to be action steps. After each panel, there's action steps. Okay, here's where you go, to find out about this. This is going to be more information to go to and find out all the information you need to find out what disparities you have and where you can go and get treated.
No, that's definitely what's up. I'll give a little brief story.
Yep.
So I caught COVID for the first time that has been out. I caught it in July for the first time.
Okay.
First time I got it. I'm dodging COVID like the Matrix, like Neo in the Matrix, like. And of course, I got it. I got it from my wife. She came in. She got infected. She came in. She infected your boy. So, talking to my wife, she's a physician as well, and I'm like, what do I do? What are the next steps? She's like, you need to get treatment with the Paxlovid. And I was like, well, cool. I'll figure it out. She's like, talk to your primary care physician. And by the time I realized I had COVID, it was after hours. So I called my primary care physician. I'm on hold for like an hour. I get his answering service, and there's nothing really that could be done. And the sooner you start the treatment of Paxlovid, the quicker you get out of COVID for the most part, and it makes the impact not as bad and less chance of you dying. Especially with somebody like me, I have pre-existing conditions, right?
Yes.
And so I call them, don't get anybody. So then the next person I call my cardiologist. I get the answering service. I get the doctor that's on call. I'm like, I've just been diagnosed with COVID, positive. I wanted to get a prescription for Paxlovid, and the person goes, no, we can't do it. I'm like, but you guys are part of my care team. Like, why can't you do it? It's like, no, we can't. And, they begin to tell me several different reasons why they can't do it. So at this point, I'm starting to get a little frustrated. I'm starting to lose my cool. I hang up with this person. I call my endocrinologist. And talk to them for a little bit. I go, hey, trying to get this Paxlovid, and then they proceeds to tell me, why they can't do it. And now I think I'm fairly educated. I know how to navigate the system. I help people navigate the system, and I'm running into these roadblocks. And my wife is a physician. I'm like, I don't understand this. This is crazy.
Right.
So now I'm frustrated. I hang up on the physician, and then I come in to the house, talk to my wife. She's like, did you get somebody? I was like, no, I didn't get anybody. I mean, I talked to people, but, she could tell I'm really tight right now. And so she can't write the prescription because she's a pediatric physician. And so she thinks about it, and she thinks about a colleague that she worked with during the height of COVID, where they were going out in the community and educating people. And so she calls this colleague of hers. The colleague then calls my endocrinologist practice. They get in touch with the person that was on call that I just talked to, who told me, no. And then that person talks to them. Next thing I know, my phone is blowing up. Oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah, we can do it. I'm like, I'm fairly educated. I know how to navigate the system. I ran into these roadblocks, and the only reason I got connected with this is because my wife knew somebody who knew somebody.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, imagine just regular everyday people that don't have no connections.
Nope. Yeah.
In the healthcare field, how hard that is.
Yep. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's, that's the things that we have to. That's like I said, action. How do you move? How do you take action to get into, like you said, to your physician to get an appointment or to get what you
and
need.
Advocate for yourself. Yeah.
That's it.
No.
That's what they're going to be talking about. And that's the action steps that's going to be taking place.
Yeah. And so, like my wife's, she's a kidney specialist for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I realized is, she's the physician in the family. So everybody would be calling her, asking her, hey, I got this bump, I got this, I got that. And not understanding that she specializes in a special form of medicine, but the need for knowledge and for our people to be able to advocate for themselves is so tremendous.
Most definitely.
So looking forward to this panel. Yes. I think it's going to be a great panel. We're going to have a lot of good answers and solutions provided from the people that are up there. Going to the next topic, you got Build Black Better, positioning Black entrepreneurs and Black businesses to be resilient. The panel will share the steps needed not only to recover the 40% of businesses that permanently closed during the pandemic, but what it takes to increase the number of Black startups and small businesses. Tell me about it. What's going on there?
So that's just that's the education on
that's the hook.
That's the build your business. What does it take to to come up out of it? How do you have where's the resources for funding? Where's the resources for actually getting people to come to your business, the marketing piece, everything. So we have a variety of panelists here. Carlton Highsmith, who has the most, I guess, the biggest business, that's from Connecticut that he sold, and things of nature. Yeah, now he's doing Concord and Concat, which is still helping businesses and things of that nature.
Yeah, they're gonna re-transform and reinvigorate the whole Dixwell Plaza.
Yeah, most definitely, yes. And actually Concord is one of our sponsors. So, and that's a great thing. So, we got the Fairfield Capital guy, talking about capital. In a business, I think we think so small most of the time in business.
But you don't know what you don't know.
Right. You don't know what you don't know. So this is a great prime example to come, and we're asking people that, everybody looks at the entertainment and things of that nature, but this is to the panelists are here to actually give you some education on whatever your business, your health, education, and even you trying to go into different educational fields. That's what it's there for. I'm asking people to please go to the schedule, find out, the schedule, what time everything's happening, so you can come and be a part of, the panels also. Everybody looks at, just the entertainment pieces and want to come for the entertainment. We got to get education, and that's how the action we're taking, which one action, driving Black excellence. Come here, take some action, and come and sit and get some information so you can actually grow your business.
No, that's awesome. I know we just did in Haven a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend because I had another engagement. The Black Wall Street. That was something that went really well. Yep. And to your point, you talk about the entertainment and the athletes and all that stuff. While there are a couple of billionaire athletes or / entertainers, the majority of Black billionaires are people that have businesses and run businesses.
Yes,
and even the athletes or entertainers that did become billionaires, that was through business. It wasn't just through their entertainment or athletic skills.
Correct. That's correct. That's correct. So yeah, so that's that's build the Black business. That's what it is. Making them better. That's what the whole panel discussion is going to be about. And we have, of course, our moderator, Anne Marie Knight, who's the executive director of the Black Business Alliance. So
that's what's up.
She's gonna be moderator.
I'm gonna have to after we get off the air. I definitely want to trade some information with you so you can send me some of the collateral. I want to post it everywhere.
Most definitely, I appreciate it. Definitely.
Absolutely. So next we have, both the topics that we just talked about between health and then the business acumen and entrepreneurship, very near and dear to my heart, but really, really near and dear to my heart right here. Political power is more than just voting. Talk about it, holding these people accountable. You can't just give away your vote. You can't just give away your vote and be like, I'll take it, go ahead. Gotta
That's the
hold these
thing.
folks accountable.
That's the thing. And that's Jesse's field. Jesse. I call Jesse's the politician of the group, and he is worked together, put some panelists here. You see, we have Jay Williams was actually I guess he was a former mayor of Baltimore, wasn't he? Baltimore. And now he's now at the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving.
Yeah, I talked and worked with, and I am working with him to some degree through the Governor's Workforce Council. I'm the chair on that for the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accessibility Committee for Reentry. So he's definitely a part of all of that. So
there you go. And we got Jamila Stewart, who is the Faith Act of Education. She's going to be coming. Faith Act is a sponsor, and they're going to be, of course, signing people to vote, register to vote, things of that nature. But we got not just register to vote, but where the next steps you have to take. Once you get that information in, make sure they're registered. Then if they need transportation to the voter poll, things of that nature. So that's different things. So she's a part of it also based upon the voting aspect of it. So we got former Mayor Tony Hart, and she just the landscape, and she's our Black sister who was the mayor of New Haven, and who can talk about how she became mayor, and what she needed to do in politics. And she was not just a mayor, she was person that was in Congress before also. So that was great. So she's gonna be good. And we got a few other people there that's gonna talk.
You got Dr. Brown Dean up there too.
Yes, she's Dr. Brown Dean is the moderator. She's the moderator. So so this is all just to, like you said, not take just the vote. Why? Why should you vote for a certain, even Democratic and Republican? That's a whole. There's
a whole thing.
There's a whole big thing.
Just blindly give your vote away, because at one point I was a co-chair in the ward that I lived in, and got a little bit involved in politics. And the whole thing that we were trying to do with that was create a platform. So if you wanted the support of the Democratic Town Committee in this particular ward, and this particular councilman or alderperson or whatever, does your history match our platform? Like, are you just talking words, or do you have the deeds to show and prove that you match what we're about? You really cannot just give your vote away, and then people are upset. I voted for this person, they didn't do anything for me. Well, why didn't they do it? Did you go? Did you go to those meetings? Did you go to the council meetings? Did you go up to the state legislature? I mean, in all honesty, and working with the reentry world and that population, and not just the folks that are getting out of prison, but the entire community, the families that are impacted by their loved ones, their husbands, their uncles, their mothers, their aunts being incarcerated. Working with the reentry collaborative in the Connecticut, we did a day of dignity where we went up to the state legislature. Because that's how you get stuff done. You got to go to the people. You got to show them that you got voting power. The first time we did it, we got like almost 300 people up at the state capitol. Out of those 300 people, I would say probably 80% had never been up to the state capitol.
Wow. Yeah, see. Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's like, how do you expect to, have any influence? And some of these people have powerful stories. And it wasn't just Black people, it was white people. And it wasn't just people from the urban community. It was people from all over the state of Connecticut.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got to flex. And I've been up to the state capitol. I know when they were talking about different issues, I'm not going to talk about specific issues, but we've seen people from the bottom all the way up to the top. They had that place flooded. And if we don't do that, we're not going to have, we're not going to exert any power.
Most definitely.
So definitely looking forward to that political power is more than just voting.
Yes.
Next, we have Black Career Pipelines. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's the Black Career Pipeline. That's basically, there's a lot of different avenues you can take to get a job or to work for someone. And, so we have, the workplace there. We have, my MacGyver director of economic development, city plan for the town of Hamden. We have the DEI strategic partnership with the Office of Workship.
My man Anthony Barrett. I'm working with him. In fact, just got off a call with him.
So that, this is all just helping you find your way and find, jobs. And I'm not talking about, the Amazon jobs and things of that nature. We're just talking about growing your career and finding other jobs that fit with your career as blacks. We always talk about diversity and, diversity, inclusion and things of that nature. So we have to get some people who know the avenues that you need to take to work your way up to the top. And there's a lot of jobs out there that are actually looking to hire blacks and and African Americans. So let's talk about it. Let's get some experts on it and get them talking about it.
Yeah, no, we definitely need that roadmap, and we really need to maximize this wave of diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. I totally agree with that. The other thing I would say that I like too is that you said careers, because I don't think people really delineate the difference between a career and a job. And I'm not knocking anybody that has a job. You got to start somewhere.
Right.
But you really need to understand the difference in what it is that you want. You got to be intentional. You have to be intentional about what it is that you want.
Yes.
So in order to get where you want to go, you can't. I was told and listened to, different tapes and people speaking, you can't bake a cake without the recipe.
Exactly.
You need the directions and the recipe to bake that cake or cook any meal. I mean, well, honestly, I don't really watch the recipe. I don't bake either, but I can cook. Give me a grill, I'm good.
Right.
But
create your career, create your economic, power. You know what I mean? So that whole career pipeline is different than just a job. It's you find a career that you love and enjoy, and you can make good money.
Yeah, you can even get to the point. Back to what you're talking about in the previous panel is find something that you love. Yeah, maybe you start off working with somebody and you build up that career, but then you figure out how to do it for yourself, and then you're working for yourself.
Exactly. That's entrepreneurship.
There you go,
sir.
All right. So, I think next we have education equity, innovation, excellence in a post-pandemic world. Talk to me about it, because I know a lot of our communities struggled during the pandemic with the shutdown, and we lost quite a bit of education equity in our kids' community for a lot of them, whether it was resources or a lack of internet access or what have you.
That's what you hit it right on the nose. That's what they're here to talk about, is how we now take the steps and the action steps, another action step to educate our children now, because they're, like they said, they lost a year and a half being on Zoom and things of the nature, and not retaining the the information or whatever. They just were at home, or like you said, no internet access, no. So the kids lost a lot, and they're finding that out now as they're coming back to school this year and earlier this year, and that's what they're going to talk about. We got Steve Perry, who's the founder of Capital Prep, and he has a couple of schools, and has two schools with Sean Puffy Combs,
in New York.
Also in New York.
He's also the author of the book "Nobody's Come to Save Us."
That's it. That's what I first met him. Yeah, that's why I first met him. You know what I mean? So we have some good. We have a kind of a wide range of speakers here. Karen Walton.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually, everybody thinks of her as the person that works for the housing.
Yeah,
she is also the state. She's a state board, Connecticut State Board of Education chair.
Yeah, let's put some respect on her. Dr. Karen DeBois Walton.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, Dr.
Steve Perry.
And Dr. Steve Perry. And Dr. Steve Perry, most definitely. So they are definitely going to, actually talk about how we can move forward with helping these kids get the education that they need, to actually, I hate to say it, to make up for that year and a half they lost. And what's the next steps? That's why you see structure. You got to restructure the whole K-12 in public education. They're trying to find ways of, getting kids to now be like enthused about going back to school. And I think some of them are, because a lot of them kids was home and they they used to being with their friends and things of that nature. So when they came back, I think they was enthusiastic. So they got to really take that enthusiasm and make them actually be able to obtain and grow and get that education that they need to move forward. in
No,
life.
definitely. There is something to be said about the socialization that occurs in schools, with that camaraderie and understanding how to interact with other people that may be different from you. I think also, the disparities that exist in our community. So a couple of things that I'm aware of with the state of Connecticut. So there are a few things, that it may have changed a little bit, but Connecticut by age and population is the oldest state in the union as far as the age of our population. We got the majority of older people outside of like Florida. That's why a lot of people leave Connecticut and move to Florida because it's warm. On another note, though, Connecticut is like the third or fourth most segregated state in the union out of our states in America. I mean, majorly you have New Haven, Bridgeport, Waterbury, Hartford, and New London, and then everything else is not urban. Those are the major urban centers. Those are the major voting blocks. And then additionally, Connecticut also is at the top, unfortunately, for education gaps and disparities between white and black.
Yes.
So those are things that we definitely have to improve upon.
Yes.
And I think this panel that you have is very needed at this time.
Yes.
And you think about it with New Haven, just looking at New Haven, the superintendent that we have currently is going to be leaving shortly. There's been a mass exodus of some of the leadership and some of the teachers from our New Haven public schools. Yep. So we're at a very critical juncture, especially coming up out of the pandemic. We're at a very critical juncture where a plan of structure is needed, both from the administration and the powers that be, but from the community, and holding people accountable for the education of our children. And then, looking inside the community too, because you talked about the loss of that education equity for that year and a half to almost 2 years where our kids weren't in school. But that loss also occurs every summer. That's why we have the summer programs to enrich kids throughout the summer so they don't lose what they had during the school year. But now you're talking about almost a year and a half to 2 years loss.
Right.
And they have to build that back. We need some community programs that supplement the school, not just putting everything on the weight of the school and administration. While it is some of their responsibility, it's also a responsibility of ourselves and our community to teach our kids and make sure that they have what they need, whether that's through, they had the hubs at Concat during the pandemic. They had hubs in certain churches where kids can get that extra supplemental education. We need to keep doing that. Definitely. It doesn't need to stop because the pandemic is, quote unquote, not a pandemic anymore. It's an endemic is what they call it now. But it doesn't end for us because we were already behind to start with.
Definitely. Most definitely.
So cool. Definitely looking forward to that one. So let's see. We touched on
the last one, closing the wealth gap.
There we go. Let's talk about it because we got Bridgeport right next to Fairfield County, or Bridgeport next to Fairfield in Fairfield County. Disparities between Bridgeport and Fairfield is astronomical as far as the wealth gap. And then not for nothing, growing up in New Haven, I didn't realize a couple of things I didn't realize growing up in New Haven until I got older. And you get 18, 20, think you know everything, which I thought I did. But I was able to recognize some things when I got to that age. Not that I knew everything. I recognized that Yale is a gift and a curse. And the fact when I say that is that New Haven would be a lot more like Bridgeport and Hartford and some of these other cities, these other urban centers, if not for Yale. But that's not to say that I don't think that Yale could be doing more than what it's doing. And I put that on everything.
Yeah.
Even I've benefited from some of the programs that have come out of Yale. My family has benefited. But growing up, I grew up really disliking Yale. It wasn't until I got older that I understood the importance of the institution and some of the impacts that it has in the community. Right. But that's not to say that they're perfect. There's definitely work that needs to be done.
Right.
The other thing I realized sense. When you talk about the wealth gap, the other thing I realized, and coming back to my community and my neighborhood, a couple of years after being in college and growing up in Newhartville, and then going up the hill, going up Huntington Street, and recognizing the stark difference between my community just down the hill and the community that's separated by Prospect Street.
Right.
And what that looks like. And to me, it's like a Mason-Dixie line. And it's different. You talk about $1 billion homes, the opulence, and then you just go back down the hill in Newhartville and Winchester and Huntington and Bassett Street and and Ivy Street, Newhartville, and it's like, what the hell? You go up the hill, it's like a whole nother world.
Whole other world. It's crazy. And and that's the thing. If you look here, we got Josiah, he's from the president, he's president of 100 Black Men in Stanford. And you just said Fairfield County area. So that's why we had him up there, because he's in the Fairfield County area. He knows, and he's he got a part of the investment group. And we got to teach our people how to, first of all, we want to say financial literacy, but we don't want to say that because everybody is not financially literate. People are, but they don't know how to invest or how to become wealthy. Everybody wants, just wealthy, and there's, okay, I'm making a living. So to get wealthy, you got to do some investments and things like that.
The money is working for you. You're not necessarily working for the money.
Exactly. So that's what that panel is all about, is, just learning how to, try to become wealthy. That's why we got some investment people. We got guys from Wells Fargo, Mark Smith. We got the young lady from Neighbor Housing and Service in New Haven, because she, is housing. When you're talking about,
that's a wealth building thing right there.
That's a wealth building right there. Purchasing housing and purchasing property and things of that nature. So I think we got a well-rounded panel here also. And we couldn't touch on everything on every panel.
Right.
Save that for next year. Save that for next year.
Because that conversation sparks. It's going to spark somebody.
Exactly.
It's going to spark somebody. You guys are not just talking about the problems, but you're also talking about action planning and solutions.
Right.
And so
that's
it's that next step. Okay. So
that's
come next year when we have the next expo, you're gonna see transform, because they took some notes and they come back and maybe they're on the panel next year because they took heed of the information that was being shared, and each one teach one. That's it.
So that's what it's all about. We're just trying to touch the surface on these different topics, and hopefully that people will come out and get the information and then take the action. Action drives Black excellence.
Definitely. You got some major heavy hitters up here as moderators and as panelists. I think this is very powerful, and if we're not lifting as we're climbing, then what's the point?
Exactly. Most definitely.
So I think the Black-white racial wealth gap remains unchanged after over a half a century. That's crazy. And then if you look at some of the statistics, it's gotten even worse. There's the home ownership component of it. There are less Blacks owning homes now than there was before, if you go back like 10, 20 years. And it's just, it doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't be happening. But that's not the same. I mean, some of that is that people, like you said, the knowledge gap and not understanding how to get assistance or where to go. You also have the structural stuff like the redlining, where people weren't, informed properly of the loans. So they might have taken out a loan that really wasn't good for them. And then later ended up losing. And then, like you said, because you guys have restarted the Expo, and then we got into 07, 08, and we had that major recession coming in. A lot of people lost their homes. Unfortunately, and they weren't able to recoup.
Right, most definitely, not at all. And that's the thing. So that's what it's all about. Like you said, coming here and just getting the education to learn how you can move forward and take those action steps to to come up out of it, or to pretty much just I would say do a 360. Like, people get so much information here that you can help your business grow. You can help your finance by investments grow. You get your health, get your health right.
Health is wealth. There ain't no point
I
in living on time and your body not healthy.
Exactly. You got all that money. If you ain't healthy, you get.
What's the point?
What's the point? So that's what all these panels are here to do. Just to, like I said, educate and uplift our community, and hopefully people will come out. Like I said, we're stressing that people will come out to these panels, and it's all about the exhibitors. The exhibitors that are going to be there, come support the exhibitors, and they also going to be some people with information. So come out, get the information, support the exhibitors and vendors that we have there.
No, that's great. Just to touch back on this, part of the title for Closing the Wealth Gap said that, the black-white racial wealth gap remains unchanged after half a century. That just speaks to me so crazy, because all the things that have been fought for since, forever for our community, voting rights have been torn apart by the Supreme Court. They gutted the Voting Rights Act, violence in our community, whether it's violence that we are perpetrating ourselves or violence from the police, it's still happening.
Right.
Just the other day, yesterday, our president is on the federal level. We'll see if any of the governors in the state level do. The president is going to pardon small marijuana.
Oh yeah. I mean,
like that, to me, that's great. That's a great step in the right direction. But at the same time, you got people profiting off of weed and marijuana right now, making billions of dollars already, where the people that were selling it on the street were locked up. And even in Connecticut, even just to get into the cannabis industry in Connecticut, it's a $3 million buy-in. That's just the buy-in. That's not building the infrastructure.
I know, and that's the hard part. And then, you know what, I have to give it to Biden. President Biden. It's a step. It's a step. Everybody always, we want to keep going. What is he doing? That's a step. He's taking the first step to moving forward to bringing them out. And that's the thing here with the Black Expo. We give you that first step, that first education piece. Yes, he got to take it to the next level. Say, okay, well, not just the small marijuana, people who are selling. You know what I mean?
Wait,
a lot of let them out. You know what I mean? Like it's already if it's legal, if they can sell it now, you got people making millions of dollars off of it. Then you need to let them out.
No, it's also it's also some makeup, because he was part of the crime bill that got a lot of brothers and sisters locked up and taken away from their family and savaged our community as well. He was part of the crime bill legislation.
Yes, he was.
So
he knows he got to make his right for that.
Yeah. And so just in that theme, there's a lot of things that have gone on and transpired in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, and the 90s. Some of that stuff is still going on. I mean, some of the headlines that you have today, with Black families wanting to sell their house again, generational wealth, and they get their house appraised, and it comes in lower with a lower appraisal than they expected after they done invested and put money in their homes. And then they take all their stuff out and have a white friend come and put their pictures up, and then get the house reappraised, and the house goes up like for $1 million more than what it was appraised for when the Black people had their pictures up in the house. That's crazy.
Yes.
And it's still happening. So this the point, the importance of your Black Expo and connecting people to the vendors and to these powerful panels. I don't think there's enough that can be said. But outside of that, you got some entertainers. Who are some of the entertainers? And what's up with the food? What kind of food we gonna have up in there?
Yeah, we gonna have food. Now, what I did with the food, I actually selected certain food vendors that because we don't want to have a bunch of the same things. So we're gonna have Caribbean, we're gonna have seafood, we're gonna have barbecue, Ricky D's. We got Ricky D's. We got multiple, we got different variety, put it that way. Food vendors there also. But the entertainment on Saturday, we have Carl Thomas. Carl Thomas, I don't know if anybody knows, was formerly used to live here in New Haven
Oh, really?
for many years. You know,
I didn't know that.
yeah, nobody knows that. That's what, you know. So we got Carl Thomas opening up for SWV.
Hold up, can I ask a question? Since you are obviously you and your boy put him on for the show. I don't care what song you say. I just need him to sing the song I wanted sung at my wedding that I didn't get. I need to hear Summer Rain. I gotta hear Summer Rain. I gotta hear that.
Song. That's the one of his hits. He gotta sing that. He gotta sing that. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, he's opening up for SWV. It was hard, man. That, you know, everybody's like, okay, you know, they're not cheap. You know what I mean? So you know, and it's hard to bring on an event of this magnitude, you know, without, of course, sponsors and people coming out buying tickets. That's the thing. We got to make sure people buy tickets. But we also have for the younger audience, we have on Saturday we have Zay France. If you look him up, he's from Connecticut. Actually, he's actually in Neo's camp. He works with Neo. He has a song out with Neo right now, also, and he's Zay France. He's a young artist, up and coming. I think he lives in LA, but he's from Connecticut. So so we try to we try to stick with kind of our Connecticut base, you know, and it's something different than, you know, that people don't know of. You know, there's a lot of artists that's performing everywhere all the time, you know, but we got to try to give some artists a shot that
absolutely, especially our own here in Connecticut.
Our own, yep. And we have another gentleman, Laurie Woods. He's also from Connecticut. He works with Neo also. And then on Sunday we got my guy Dave McClure. And he was actually on JJ Harrison's. He was a backup singer with JJ Harrison, and he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal gospel singer. And then, of course, to end off the evening, we got, you know, Grammy nominated Travis Green, and you know, the church community is so big in Connecticut. It's huge. And we like I said, this is Connecticut. This is not New Haven, you know, just because the event is in New Haven. This is a Connecticut event, so we're just calling out everyone to come out and support, you know, the gospel, especially the gospel community. You know, they we giving you something for you. You know, we consider that Faith Day, you know, for on Sunday. You know, so we're gonna have a lot of churches from all over, you know, coming to, you know, to see Travis. And to support, of course, and some of the, you know, of course, we're gonna have panel discussions on that day on also, and we also got a gentleman, Dr. Violin, and he's you know, he actually went to school at UConn, and he actually works with, he actually is on tour with Israel Horton, also plays violin with Israel Horton, who's a gospel artist, major gospel artist. So, you know, we got some entertainment, and we got some more, you know, a little entertainment also throughout the day. You know, between each panel discussion and things of that nature. But like I said, we are asking everyone to come out whatever day. And it's only, let me make this clear, it's only $15 for each day. Okay,
that's crazy.
Okay, so we don't want to hear like, oh, everyone, you know, it's $15 in advance. You can go to ctblackexpo.com and get your tickets, and also we're giving you $25 for the weekend. So if you buy Saturday and Sunday,
it's $15. You spend almost $30 for the 2 days, and you getting $25 back.
Say it again.
I said if you buy tickets for both days, you spend $30, and you're gonna give people $25 back.
What you mean $25 back?
I thought you said 25. I'm sorry. Did I mishear that?
I said for the 2 days it's only $25, so we give you a discount instead of.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. I thought.
Oh, yeah.
That's even.
Yeah. No, I said for $25 you get both days. Yeah, so $15 for Saturday, $15 for Sunday. But if you buy both days, it's $25.
Okay.
And kids and children under 14 are free. We're not even charging the children under 14 because we want family. You know, you bring your kids. I just got an email today, and a young lady asked, I have an 8-year-old. He comes for free. Like, you know, we just make sure he's accompanied by adult. That's what we always want.
Right.
You know?
But the youth need to be exposed to this information as well, because it's they're the next generation.
Definitely, they got to hear this, they got to see this, they got to see all these different vendors and all this different things going on, so they can and say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to have this type of business, So this is just good to bring the whole family and have a good time, and that's
planting the seed, and if they are attending the panels and seeing these Black professionals, doctors, lawyers, businessmen, nurses. All of that, it's all important. Academia, all of that.
Yes, and so we're doing a kickoff. We're doing a kickoff on Friday. A Black Powerful professional mixer at the Bow House at Canal Dock, which is right there on the Long Wharf.
Yep.
So that's going to be our kickoff from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We're inviting everyone out, and we also have all our sponsors and of course our vendors are welcome to come as well. They're coming in. They'll charge. There's a $10 fee for the event, but it's just to offset some of the costs. It's like $20, $10.
You can't do everything for free. No. I get it, but you guys, the nominal cost of everything for a jam-packed weekend, you go to both days on Saturday and Sunday. That's $25, and then 10. I can spend that by myself at Burger King or something.
Yeah, and then for the younger audience, of course, on at Saturday night we're having a after party at Terminal 110, and Terminal 110 is the only Black-owned club in New Haven. I don't know if people know that. But there's another one. There's another restaurant lounge which is Jazzy's, which is Black-owned also. But
there's a few Black-owned and people of color owned restaurants popping up in New Haven, but that dude that be outside of Terminal 110 with that jerk chicken.
Definitely. So that's the weekend. We try this whole weekend of event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, whole weekend of events. We want to call this Black Weekend. So let's come and enjoy and uplift and get that education and of course and entertainment and have a good time.
Awesome. Well, sir, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Flowers.
I look forward
to connecting with you. I think we've been copied on a couple of emails, so I'll reach out to you via that.
Yes.
I'm looking for this to be successful, and I'll get some more collateral stuff so I can post it on every platform that I'm a part of. I look forward to working with you sometime in the future, sir.
I thank you, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Take care.
Have a good day.
But you gonna be counting blessings, and I know that for certain. Keep on working, open curtains, haters swerving, cause they ain't ready for your final version. Whoa. I'm never gonna give up, fall down, I just gotta get up, yeah. Cause this is my road, let's camera action, I'm ready to go. I'm never gonna give up, fall down, I just gotta get up, yeah. Yeah, this is my road, let's camera action, I'm ready.